Garrett, once frontman of Australian band Midnight Oil, is now the country's Environment Minister. Among other things, he used music to campaign against uranium mining and nuclear energy. In his current role as Environment Minister, though, he's confronted with a catch-22. Nuclear energy is one of the cleanest fuels with little or no greenhouse gas emissions.
Of the top 25 economies in the world, we're the only country not to have nuclear energy in our thinking. So are we different enough? I think the answer is no. I think we are handicapped by our history, and at the moment politically the federal government is not supportive of nuclear power.
SWITKOWSKI is the former chief executive of Australia's national phone company Telstra. He now gets paid by Australia's only nuclear energy research facility, ANSTO, to lobby the government in favour of nuclear power. Nuclear advocates tout the clean air aspects of nuclear energy, but environmentalists say other dangers outweigh the benefits.
Clearly, when something is so potentially dangerous as nuclear power, as well as the problems of waste, which are highly toxic and we don't have a solution, and we're talking about waste that lasts for hundreds of thousands of years.
Australia is home to the world's biggest uranium deposit, BHP's Olympic Dam mine in South Australia. It produces $400 million worth of uranium a year. Still, that's a drop in the bucket compared to BHP and the mining industry's coal business. 85% of Australia's power comes from coal-fired power stations that still have decades of shelf life left. And coal is Australia's biggest export, worth about $50 billion last year, compared to $1 billion of uranium. Commercial interests aside, the biggest obstacle to nuclear power comes from the grassroots up. This sign was put here by the local council declaring this neighbourhood a nuclear-free zone. And as long as there are signs like these on the streets of Sydney, it's going to be very difficult for the government to institute a change from coal to nuclear.
Until we're more educated in how it's going to work, we've got more idea of how it's going to work, it's not worth going ahead with it.
I think of Chernobyl, I guess. I think of potential for huge accidents, for large loss of life.
If Australia wants to reduce its dependency on coal and cut greenhouse gases by going nuclear, it needs to get started now, because it can take up to a decade for a plant to become operational. Heidi, Bloomberg News, Sydney.